Good morning. I am Molly Martin, and we're going to talk a little bit today about cross training. I like to use Cavaletti and pole work as well as hills, trails, jumping, anything outside the dressage arena or that can make the dressage arena itself more exciting for the horses. We can drill these horses day in and day out, and we're just going to create unhappy horses that don't enjoy their job. Horses have to have days of play. So today is my horse Teddy's play day, and we're going to do a little bit of fun with Cavaletti. It took a while to teach him to go over the poles. He was real spooky with them. He still can back off a little bit and not really enjoy it, but once he gets going and his body starts to warm up, he seems to really like the way his body moves. Why would we use poles as part of our cross training? When they go over poles, especially the horses that aren't turned out in big fields or in groups, they have to problem solve. They need to figure out where their foot placement is going to be. It also gains a lot of focus for horses that get easily distracted. I'll often put poles up in the arena, and whenever they start getting a little disconnect with me, I'll just take them over the poles. It draws their attention back into their work, and then it's easier for me to access their brain and be able to continue with the ride for the day. Poles also are going to articulate their joints. An older horse that is dealing with some arthritis and needs to warm up a little bit, that extra lifting of the leg is going to bend those joints and help loosen them up a little bit earlier. When they're bending their legs like that, articulating those joints, they're having to stand longer on the leg that's on the ground. So it builds the stabilizer muscles. It develops their core. You can use them pretty elevated. Mine are basically on the ground today, but you can elevate them and really create cadence in the stride. You can help teach them how to lengthen by spreading the poles more out. There's numerous reasons why we would use the poles and how to develop them over the poles. We can set them up for the walk, the trot, or the canter. Today I have poles set up on a curved line just for some trotting. Someone would like to get on with his work. So we're going to start out. He's actually warmed up already. So we're going to start out letting him just come around me and do a little bit of trot before he goes back over the poles. Now I have quite a few poles set up. I try to work them up to this number of poles. I usually start them over just one pole at a time. I might set 2 up on opposite sides of the circle, and then eventually I start stringing more and more together. T-Rot. He's a little bit of a lazy horse. So I usually set my poles up like this for the lunging so that I can lunge next to the poles to get the video without the morning sunrise blaring into the screen. It's a little bit harder to do it this way. I'm going across the width of the arena instead of the length of the arena. So I'm getting a little squished with not a very big circle. So when I go over the poles, I usually shorten the line a little bit and move up with the horse. This way, I can keep the line up higher. With the Cavaletti, it's really easy to get the lunge line caught on the X's of the Cavaletti. So you see, I'm making a pretty big circle myself. And especially a lazier horse like this one, I have to use the whip a little bit more frequently. And so if I can get a little bit closer to him, like right here when he backs off, it's easier for me to encourage him to go forward. Good boy. So we can combine our Cavaletti with some transitions. Canter. Now I make a circle next to the Cavaletti. Ooh, we're sassy. And we can do these exact same exercises while riding. Good boy. Good boy. It really teaches them to focus. Good boy. Good boy. Such a good boy. So the Cavaletti is a lot of work for the horses, for their mind, for their body. So we do them in short spurts like that. So now I would take him in the other direction, and like I said, he's already been over them a little bit this morning. We just trotted both directions, maybe 4 times over the Cavaletti, and about 5 or 6 circles not over the Cavaletti after a pretty long hand walk around the ranch to get him warmed up. So we'll really use these Cavaletti in sets where you go over the Cavaletti a little bit, take him away from it a little bit. Back over a little, take him away a little bit. Let him go the other direction for a minute. So when I lunge, I have another video with lunging and groundwork. I want the horse to move away from me. I shouldn't have to back away from the horse to get him out on a larger circle. And you can see he was just Johnny on the spot there out on a bigger circle, and very safely. He went out at a walk. I feel that's really important that they not rush off, because I've seen and heard of people getting kicked when the horses go to leave you for the lunging. And again, he's already warmed up, so I don't need to do too many laps this way. Get my lunge line organized. Good boy. And I really want to see a reaction like that. If I cluck, he needs to move up. If I roll my tongue, he needs to come back. Boy. The sun's really hitting him now. Good boy. Boy. I try and really keep that line up when he goes over the Cavaletti, so it doesn't get caught on the X's. It helps too if you're coming in when the arena is freshly drug, and you can lay down some footprints so that you know where your circle line is for approaching the Cavaletti versus going next to the Cavaletti. Good boy. What a good boy. And when I have them stop on the lunge line, oh, he's having fun. I don't like the horses to turn to face me. I've also had horses where they turn and face you, and then they spin and run the other direction. So I really prefer that when the horses halt, they halt so that they're still on the line of the circle. If I have side reins on them, then I also don't have to worry about them hitting the side reins and panicking themselves. So there's just a little insight into some of my lunging over Cavaletti. There's thousands of different ways that you can set the Cavaletti up to develop the horses using walk, trot, and canter. Different distances in your poles, different heights in your poles, different numbers of poles. The list goes on and on. Feel free to send me a message or email if you want more information on how to do some cross training with your horses over Cavalettis. Leave any questions you have in the chat or email them to me, and I'll do my best to get to everybody's questions. Have a great day, everyone.